In today's video, we're going to paint up some Chaos Terminators to be battle ready. So the first thing we did, obviously, was build these guys. But then I took my airbrush and we spray painted them like a gray color. I wanted to keep it easy for me to pick out all the details on them. Got all of them set up, and the next thing we're going to do is Abbadon black for all the panels and lines in between all of the lovely trim on these guys. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. You can see we got them all over. And you can see the one on the faces. I numbered all of these to make it easier for me to remember which one got what parts. Next, we started on the trim. This was probably the most arduous part of this whole thing. Just trying to make sure that you get all the detail with all the gold just going all over. I used retributer armor on all the gold details. It's such a nice paint. I really like the way it looks. It's got that nice, I don't know, like newer style, newer look gold. And it really pops on these guys. Because of the black and some of the other colors we're going to put on it here in a little bit. And there he's all done with the trim. Moving on to the next one. Again, keep looking out for those numbers. That's how we kind of figure out where we're putting all the little bits and bobs here once we get close to it. Now with this particular paint job, I really wanted to be very mindful of where that gold went, just because I didn't want to have to go back over and chase it and try to like get rid of all the gold or get rid of any colors. It did happen because I'm human and I make mistakes and I got big hands, as you can see. Trying to keep paint in very specific areas is an art form, let me tell you. I'm still working on it, but here we go. All these guys are gold and ready to go. So now we'll work on the other colors. We're bringing in lead bleacher and mehiston red for pretty much the chainmail, any weapons that they have, any hoses, or any of the little, I guess, pipes in between some of them. You could see some of the gold needs to be touched up already. I did thin these down a little bit just to make it easier to put them on, put that color on. So I had to go back over it a couple of times, but that wasn't a big deal. Next time, I think I might not do that much of a thinning on the gold. Here we go, getting them fisted red on the cloth there. And then the chainmail, got those guys all ready to go. Next, we're putting on catachan flesh on any of the fur parts. I think only one or two of these models had any sort of fur on them. If they did, it was kind of minimal. Just only a couple. God, look at me just struggling to get that in there. So I do have a new setup, and it is pretty nice. I'm still trying to get used to it. So, yeah, as we continue on, you'll see some better and better quality. You can see the skulls. I got all of those done in a pale sand from the army painter. It was an excellent color. It didn't take that much to get them at least that far. We're going to use some shading to bring out some more color on them. So here are all the little bits and bobs I was talking about, weapons and such. We're going to use matte white and then black white. Mix them together, make it gray, and then prime. Get all those little parts all primed up. Then we're going to go back through, get all the detail in. Using that pale sand really worked well for skin. we're going to end up using some shade to bring out the skin too. So now we're getting these guys ready to glue up. There's our first one done, the Chaos Champion. He came out pretty well. I'm not a fan of his eyes, but Magos had a really good tip for me. Don't ever color the eyes in unless you're confident. So I ended up going back through and just really giving quite a bit of shading on him, on his head, just to get those eyes at least some sort of semblance to human. Cruising right along here, we got all the bits and bobs for the second guy. I'm going to use Tamiya extra thin cement on these guys. That cement works really well, and I actually needed it just to break down some of the paint where I ended up kind of overpainting in spots just to make sure everything was done. I shouldn't have painted that specific spot where their arms glue on, but the Tamiya actually broke it down pretty good and really made it easy to apply the arms after I was done. So now I'm painting up, priming up some of the weapons and some of the arms. I'm using my gallery airbrush for priming, which is one of the benefits of having one. In the climate that I live, it's either way really hot or way cold, so it's helpful to be able to do some of this stuff indoors. Now here I am putting lead belcher on this big weapon. I didn't know if this guy actually had a classification, but he was super cool. Just an awesome model. We're using the Reikland flesh shade on all the gold bits. Pretty much anywhere that he's got some gold trim. We got to make sure we got some definition with that. I do like the way it looks. A little bit more, I guess, tattered looking. Fantastic. And then we use the red technical paint, the Martian ironcrust for the basing. Came out looking slick. I love it. These guys are just so badass. I really actually enjoyed. There's parts of this that were like amazing, and then other parts that were like, this is making me want to jab my eyes out. If I could do it again, obviously we tried to find a way to do it a little quicker, but it did still turn out really, really nice. The other shades I used were agrax, earthshade, and nuln oil, just to make sure everything popped on these guys. So this was an absolute beast of a project. I really wasn't expecting things to go as crazy as they did and take as long as they did. You know, it's one of those things that the chaos trim and all the little bits and stuff, just a lot. And I was like really, really sure I could cut down on all that time that it took me to paint these up. I was sadly mistaken. Even using the airbrush, even using sub-assemblies, it took about 26 hours in total to paint these guys. They came out really nice. I'm very, very happy with how they worked, how everything came out. Blue tack on, hold on these little, I don't even know what you would call these little grips. It was a good idea. I'm glad I did not use these because of the teeth digging into the model or anything like that. So blue tack really helped out. Still took a long time, and it's still like every time I went to go paint on them, you know, when they were sub-assembled, specifically the arms and all the fiddly small stuff, they would pop off. And maybe I wasn't using enough, maybe I was using too much, maybe there was just a plethora of things that could have, you know, happened as to what was going on. But I am so very, very excited with how these things came out. I mean, just stellar. I'm very thrilled with my work. But anyway, let's get into the final shot and catch you in the next one, huh?